Have you ever had the feeling that something is missing from your life? Not money, not success, not entertainment, something deeper, a strange emptiness that appears in quiet moments. The feeling that despite all the technology, convenience, and opportunities surrounding us, something isn't quite right. Think about it. We live in the most comfortable era in human history. We can communicate with anyone in seconds. We have access to endless information, unlimited entertainment, and more convenience than our ancestors could ever imagine. Yet anxiety is rising, loneliness is rising, depression is rising, and millions of people wake up every morning with a question they can barely put into words. Why do I feel empty? How is it possible that a world filled with more comfort than ever before has produced so many people who feel disconnected, exhausted, and unfulfilled? What if the problem isn't you? What if modern life itself has quietly created a condition that no amount of scrolling, shopping, achievement, or distraction can fix? Because the uncomfortable truth is this: modern life has become very good at keeping us entertained, but it may be making it harder than ever to feel truly alive. And once you see why, you may never look at your life the same way again. The great paradox. Here's the strange part. If you had asked someone living 100 years ago to imagine the future, they probably would have described a world very much like ours. A world where machines do the hard work. A world where information travels instantly. A world where people have more freedom, more comfort, and more opportunities than ever before. And if that future became reality, they would likely assume that people would be happier than ever. But that's not what happened. Instead, something unexpected emerged. The more comfortable life became, the more many people began to feel a quiet sense of emptiness. Think about that for a moment. Humanity spent thousands of years fighting against hunger, disease, isolation, and uncertainty. Generation after generation dreamed of creating a better world. And in many ways, we succeeded. Yet despite all our progress, millions of people walk through life carrying a feeling they can't fully explain. A feeling that something essential is missing. It's one of the greatest paradoxes of modern civilization. We have more, yet we feel less. More entertainment, less fulfillment. More connection, less belonging. More convenience, less satisfaction. More stimulation, less meaning. And perhaps the most unsettling part is that this emptiness doesn't always appear during failure. Sometimes it appears after success, after getting the promotion, after buying the house, after reaching the goal you've been chasing for years. For a brief moment, there's excitement, relief, maybe even happiness. But then something unexpected happens. The feeling fades, and another goal appears on the horizon. Another achievement, another purchase, another milestone, and the chase begins again. Many people spend their entire lives running toward a destination they never truly reach. Not because they're doing something wrong, but because they're searching for meaning in places where meaning was never meant to be found. And that's where the story becomes even more interesting, because the emptiness many people feel today is not an accident. It is connected to something much larger, something built into the very structure of modern life itself. To understand it, we need to look at the one thing that has become the most valuable resource on Earth: your attention. Right now, some of the smartest people on Earth are working every day to capture one thing: your attention. Not because they care about your happiness, because your attention is worth billions of dollars. Think about how often you check your phone. For many, it's the first thing they see in the morning and the last thing they see before bed. A notification appears. You open an app. 5 minutes later, you're watching videos you never intended to watch. 20 minutes later, you forget why you picked up your phone in the first place. This isn't an accident. Modern platforms are designed to hold your attention for as long as possible. Every swipe, every click, every recommendation, every notification, all of them are carefully designed to keep you coming back again and again. And over time, something special begins to happen. Your brain adapts. Activities that used to be enjoyable begin to seem boring. Reading a book becomes difficult. Long conversations require effort. Being alone with your thoughts becomes uncomfortable. Many people can watch 50 short videos in a row, but they find it difficult to focus on one thing for 10 minutes. And the consequences extend far beyond productivity. Because attention is more than just concentration. Attention determines what becomes your reality. Whatever consistently captures your attention begins to shape your beliefs, emotions, desires, and decisions. If your attention is constantly fragmented, your life becomes fragmented. If your attention is constantly directed outward, you gradually lose touch with your inner world. That's why so many people feel mentally exhausted, despite doing less physical work than any previous generation. Their minds never get a chance to rest. Every free minute is filled. Standing in line? Check your phone. Riding the elevator? Check your phone. Sit alone for 30 seconds? Check your phone. Modern life has deprived us of many moments of silence. But silence has never been useless. In silence, reflection took place. It was there that people processed emotions. It was there that ideas were born. It was there that meaning was discovered. Today, many people consume information for years without ever stopping to ask a simple question. What am I really thinking? And this leads to another problem, one that may be even more dangerous. For millennia, humanity has depended on real-life communities for survival. Now, for the first time in history, millions of people are surrounded by digital connections, feeling profoundly alone. And this loneliness changes us in ways most people don't even realize. Humans evolved in tribes. For most of history, survival depended on strong relationships. People didn't just know each other. They depended on each other. Something strange happened today. A person can have thousands of followers, hundreds of connections, and dozens of daily conversations, and still feel completely alone. Because connection and contact are not the same thing. You can receive messages all day and still feel unnoticed. You can spend hours online and still feel isolated. The human brain wasn't designed for endless digital interaction. It was designed for real faces, real voices, real presence. And when all that disappears, something inside us begins to starve. This may explain why loneliness has become one of the defining experiences of modern life. Not because people are physically alone, because many are emotionally detached, surrounded by people, and yet deeply invisible. When people lose meaningful connections, they often try to fill the void with something else. More entertainment, more work, more shopping, more scrolling. But the emptiness remains, because the need for meaning cannot be replaced by stimulation. And this leads us to perhaps the greatest illusion of modern life. The illusion that happiness awaits somewhere in the future. A moving finish line. Most people are taught the same formula. Work harder, earn more, achieve more. Then you will finally be happy. But look closely at what's happening. You achieve one goal. Then you immediately create another. You buy what you wanted. After a few weeks, it seems normal. You get a promotion. Soon, it becomes your new starting point. You achieve what once seemed impossible. And soon, you're chasing something else. The finish line is constantly moving. Many people spend decades climbing a mountain, only to discover that the view from the summit doesn't answer the questions they hoped for. Because meaning and achievement are not the same thing. Achievement can impress others. Meaning transforms you. Achievement is external. Meaning is internal. And when people spend years pursuing one thing while neglecting the other, the result is often emptiness. Perhaps modern life feels empty because we've become experts at consuming, but newbies at living. We consume content. We consume products. We consume entertainment. We consume opinions. And yet, many of us rarely stop long enough to ask ourselves what's truly important. The greatest tragedy isn't failure. It's when you reach the end of your life and realize you were so distracted that you never fully experienced it. The irony is that what gives life meaning has never changed. Love, friendship, purpose, growth, curiosity, contribution, presence. You can't buy any of this. You can't download it. And no algorithm will deliver it to your home. It must be experienced. Perhaps the emptiness people feel today isn't a lack. Perhaps it's a message. A signal telling us that something important has been lost in the noise. And perhaps the solution isn't finding something more. Perhaps it's remembering what mattered all along. Because one day all notifications will disappear. All trends will fade. All things will be left behind. And when that day comes, only one question will matter. Have you truly lived? Or were you simply distracted while life went on? The answer to that question can determine everything.